Until very recent times, southern Colombia was a hotspot of violence. These isolated territories deep in the jungle were the perfect hiding spot for guerrillas and paramilitary groups who produced and exported cocaine from here to the rest of the country. This bloody conflict took the lives of millions of Colombians and made of Colombia one of the most dangerous countries in the world. But things have changed. After the fall of Colombia's drug lords and the peace accords of 2016, most of the paramilitary groups have disbanded, or so they say. So I took a bus from Bogota to the south to find out how is life in Colombia's most forgotten regions. Hey, how you doing, guys? Welcome to Villa Vicencio, a beautiful town here in southeast Colombia, known as the door to the Amazon. I have a very special trip for you guys. We're gonna go deep into the Colombian jungle, the side of Colombia that does not get a lot of tourists. And it's a shame because there's a lot of gems to be found here. I'm super excited to show you what it's about. Well guys, we finally made it. We are here in the limits between the department of Meta and Guaviare. This is literally where the Amazonia begins, between the valley and the jungle. This region is home to various indigenous tribes, which I'll teach you about. And we're gonna learn a little bit of the history of this place because there's some beautiful cave paintings that we're gonna check out. We are heading now to La Puerta de Orion, a beautiful rock formation in the middle of the jungle. All of this is sedimentary rock. That's why it has become sand in the bottom. All of this area, sedimentary rock, it's very fragile. There's no way that's gonna survive, well, maybe a few more thousand years, but it'll fall eventually. There are plants here which are completely alien to me. I've never seen these things. Apparently they grow 1 centimeter a year, and they're very sturdy. They can survive 2 or 3 fires without dying. They're incredible. It's such a unique ecosystem. You're not gonna find this anywhere else on Earth. What an incredible place. It's quite hot. Behind me is something you're gonna find only in Colombia. This plant is called Ricolanchis clavijera. It's an aquatic plant that's red, so it gives the river a red color. You're only gonna find it in this region of Colombia. It's also found in Caño Cristales, but that's a little farther away. It looks incredible. I don't know about you, but I've never seen a red river like this. Such an alien landscape. I can't believe it. After the Red River, we head to the caves of Nuevo Tolima. These paintings are more than 10,000 years old. Humans have been inhabiting this region for around 12,000 years ago. And some of these paintings have been painted over by generations. So a generation here, a generation later. So it's thousands of years of paintings in one. And we're not sure exactly the purpose of the paintings. They could have been used by shamans. It could have been used by regular people just for the sake of art. But it was probably a sacred spot for them. And it's still a sacred spot for the people in the area. The cave paintings depict several animals and human figures, along with geometric shapes. No one knows exactly who made these cave paintings, but one possible candidate is the Nukak people, who have lived in the Amazon for thousands of years. The Nukak were the last indigenous group to be contacted in Colombia. Most of them have adopted subsistence agriculture, but still hunt using traditional dark weapons. They believe in a 3-tier afterlife system, and they refuse to hunt deer and tapirs, for they believe that these animals are related to humans. Most of the Nukak have assimilated into Colombian society, although there are some pockets of Nukak deep in the Amazon who still carry on their traditional ways.
It is a miracle that these paintings even survived, since all of this rock is very porous, it's sedimentary, it breaks down really easily. It's really a miracle that it survived 10,000 years, and hopefully it can last thousands of years more for future generations, because this is one of humanity's greatest treasures.
After the cave paintings, I returned to San Jose del Guaviare. It was time to go back home.
Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the history of this region. A lot of tourists are put off from coming here, from visiting, because they heard of reports of paramilitary groups coming into the region. This region does have a long history with paramilitary groups and guerrilla groups, most prominently the FARC, which was a left-wing group that started in the 1960s and that terrorized Colombia for a very long time. However, in 2016, the government signed some peace accords with the FARC, so the group pretty much disbanded. Some of its members are now in Congress, officially a part of the Colombian government, and other splinter groups have separated themselves and are now in the jungle. They're still carrying out operations, but very, very deep into the jungle. The military has a big presence here, so the city itself is safe, the surrounding region is safe, but there are still paramilitary groups in Colombia operating at a much smaller scale, but there's always that threat. And it seems the citizens here in San Jose del Guaviare are living in peace. They're not worried about it. A lot of families that used to cultivate coca leaf as their main business, because this used to be a big region for the production of cocaine, they are now dedicating themselves to tourism. There are still coca plantations, but more clandestine. But yeah, families seem to be doing better. They're focusing on tourism. I'm very happy for them. I had a very pleasant experience here, and I hope you continue following my journey. We're gonna go all over Colombia. We're heading up north to the mountain regions of Villa de Leyva, Barichara, all the way to Cucuta, where the plan is to head into Venezuela in like a week. Again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.